So this game can only run at 30 FPS, rendered at 4K, has ray tracing. There's no performance mode. What is this? This is like saying, oh, by the way, on PC there's only one graphics setting. F you. That's what the graphics setting is. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the HGO podcast. I am one of your hosts, Ethan, and joining me, as always, are my good friends, Kyle and Hunter. Hey, guys. How you doing?
Hello.
I'm doing just well.
We always choose a good day to record those podcasts. You know, usually the news kind of evades us, but, you know, we got lucky this week, didn't we? Bloody hell.
Finally. It was bound to happen eventually.
I remember the beginning of the year when we kept saying that we were cursed because everything would happen immediately after we recorded it.
And now here we are. It's me being extremely lazy and promising to play Overwatch 2 with some people that got us to the news. So you're welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Overwatch 2
Woo.
claims another W because now we get to talk about more drama, because that's just what everybody wants us to do, is talk about more video game drama. But no, welcome back on in to the show, everybody. I hope you've had an awesome week. It's been, like I say, it's been an interesting one. You know, it's had some pros, a lot of cons, but you know, what's new? It's the games industry, and I'm sure we're going to talk all about them this week. It's an interesting one because we were going to talk about the Persona stuff, the 25th anniversary. Was it a W? Was it an L? I promised that we'd do that this week. I came to the quick conclusion of, we're going to talk about Royal next week regardless because of the new ports. So I was like, what's the point of cutting it in half and half? We'll just talk about all the Royal ports because I'm at that stage now where I'm getting the Switch and PS5 versions. The Xbox version's free on Game Pass, and so is the PC version. So I'll be able to literally check that they're all good and report back next week. And then we can talk about the 25th anniversary and all that jazz next week. So this week instead, we're going to talk about Timely. Kyle's played Bayonetta 2, so we're going to talk all about that. We're then going to talk about the Bayonetta 3 Discourse that has literally happened today as of recording, this Saturday. Gotham Knights controversy, that's also a controversial game, not just from this, but another kind of dent in its armour, and we'll talk about that. It's a little nitpick, but it's also now confirmed that I'm definitely not getting it, so we'll talk about that. Then we'll end with some positives. Both Cal and I have both played the new Xenoblade 3 DLC Pack 2 was released this week. We've played it, so we'll tell you all about it, and then we'll wrap it up with Hunter having replayed Resident Evil 4. We thought it'd be timely, not only because it's close to Halloween, but then also because the remake is coming in just a couple of months. Yeah, so busy show. But obviously, before we get into that, if you are new here, make sure to check out and follow and check out everything that we've done. There's like 134 other episodes, so there's plenty of stuff to go check out. Thank you for the support on the Xeno spoiler cast, the Genshin stuff. We really appreciate it. Any likes, comments, subscriptions, or reviews on any podcast service or at youtube.com/hotgamesonly are always greatly appreciated. Especially if you are an audio listener, make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel, because Halloween is just a couple of weeks away, which is usually a tragic event for everybody. Will Ethan's costume show up on time? Who knows? I still don't know. I still don't have an answer for that. But this time I can't say that I didn't try and prepare early, because it will have been 2 months. So we'll see.
But to be fair, mine still hasn't shown up either.
Oh, well, that's good.
It's supposed to be here on the 24th.
Mine was supposed to be
I'll
here.
let you know.
Mine was supposed to be here like already, so good start. Good start.
I still need to order a couple of bits of mine now that I think about it.
Oh, you see, mine, I don't want to spoil it. One audience picked. So, well, no, they picked out, there was 2 options, and I basically gave them the choice. They made their bed, they'll lie in it. But it just keeps adding on. At first it was like, oh yeah, I'll just do this. And I was like, oh, but then I can do this. And it's like, oh, well, I'd either pay like 10 for it or 20 to do it properly, or 25. So I'll do the 25. And I was like, oh, there's also this little thing that no one will notice if I don't, but I'll do it because that's quirky. And then that was also like another 12. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like more I've spent more on this costume than the actual podcast in 135 episodes. Like, this is ridiculous if we're not in Going Games. So it'll be an interesting one. So make sure you guys tune in for that, with all that spiel out of the way, let's get into it. Let's start with the positives first. So, Kyle, let's talk about you playing Bayonetta 2 and all of that.
It's mostly positive.
And then we'll talk about the tragedy that's occurred in the last couple of hours. So go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah. Last week, Hunter kind of offhandedly mentioned he was playing Bayonetta 1, finishing that up. Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Bayo 3's out at the end of the month. I've never played these games before. Let's just give them a shot. Downloaded both of them. You can get my thoughts on Bayo 1 last week, but basically, I thought it was just good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Bayo 2, this game started off fantastic. You guys were not joking about how great that first level was.
It's so good.
It was truly something I wasn't prepared for.
Yeah, it's really good.
Like, arguably amongst my favorite first levels in any game, now that I think about it. Like, I could see a case for it being in, like, a top 10.
If you're wondering, if you ever wondered how I got into Bayonetta, because it wasn't Hunter that got me into Bayonetta, I bought Bayonetta 2 on Wii U, and the reason that I got into Bayonetta was because of the Direct, where they showed it, and they were like, there's a demo now available. So I played the demo, and the demo is literally that first level, and I feel like that first level can sell anybody on that video game, whether you hate the rest of it or not. I played that first level, and I was like, okay, I'm going to play it, I'm going to buy it, and then I played Bayonetta 1, and then I stopped playing within an hour, and I never got to it until the Switch re-release. So, but... fun little story. But yeah, it's a great first level. You gotta love it.
Oh yeah, that first level was fantastic, and everything around it was wonderfully done too. A great way to reintroduce all the characters to the player, because they didn't have those games back to back. Bayo 1 was in 2009, and Bayo 2 was out in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
So
also, I'm sure a lot of people were like me or Ethan who just played the game 2 first. Like, I would be shocked.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily for Bayo 2, the one thing it did have was, even with the Wii U version, they did do a port of Bayo 1, and you got it included with Bayo 2. I believe on the Wii U, in America, it was a digital download, but in Europe, you got a physical copy with a disc and like proper case and everything. So it was really good for Europe. Back when Europe used to get Ws, but oh well. Not for Switch.
You got your Xenoblade special.
Well, we'll
edition.
talk about that later. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. I'll do my victory march later on. So that first level really strong. You get to fight on a jet. You've got this whole Christmas shenanigans going on.
Tomorrow Is Mine starts playing. Yeah. Wonderful song.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I've already put it in my Spotify playlist.
Of course you have. But yeah,
it's a jam, dude.
So then, after
Which it was more than just verse and chorus, but whatever. That's beside the point.
Yeah. But anyway, after that.
I just feel like the rest of the game is all right. Nothing about it really blew me away. And I felt kind of the same about Bayo 1, where I don't know, the game's fine. It's nothing groundbreaking for the character action genre.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun romp. Doesn't overstay its welcome, but
I think that's why I like 2 more than 1, is because it's shorter. That's my one kind of positive. Yeah. And it's not even a couple of hours short. It's not even like it's like half an hour, an hour shorter. It's like 3 hours shorter. Like Bayo 2 is like 6 hours long, 5 hours long, whereas Bayo 1 is like double. It's like I feel like the streamlined kind of experience with Bayo 2 genuinely gave me a better impression by the end of my time with it, because I was like, oh good, it's over, and I had fun, whereas Bayo 1 just didn't want to fucking end, and I was like, please be the last level, no, damn it, God.
I feel like there was a bit less cheap nonsense in 2 as well. Like, last week I complained about being sucker punched out of cutscenes and whatnot. It's been a while, but I don't think that happened in 2.
It didn't.
Not to my...
I was prepared for it, though. I was ready. Finger was on that dodge button. Never happened, though. But now, what you were saying, Ethan, I feel like the ending of Bayo 2 kind of went back to how Bayo 1 was structured, where the missions just felt way too long, and they were pulling from a lot of the what I call the gimmick levels of basically like vehicles, and the stupid fucking plane controls are back, which put that right before the final boss, dude.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah, it's an interesting mix. Like I say, I liked Bayo 2. A lot of people love Bayonetta 1 and 2, and I've never been in that camp. I always thought they were fine. I mean, we'll get to Bayonetta 3, but I think I mentioned last week I'd already cancelled my pre-order. It was already going in the bin after this week if it wasn't, but I definitely had, and it wasn't because I hated it. It's just, to me, it's fine. It like, I don't hate it, I don't love it. There's been people that have been like chomping at the bit for Bayonetta 3 since it was announced in Christmas 2017 at the Game Awards. I've not been that person. I was like, oh, Bayonetta 3, cool. I kind of expected it because they probably wanted to have another go on a good console this time. So yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I feel like if I had played these games as they were coming out, or at least more timely than just right now, I would have been like, yeah, I'm fine with how it ended. If it never got a third game, I'd have been fine with it.
No, same. That's it's like I say, it's fine. I don't think that it's Platinum's best, but I also like Platinum's a very interesting company where it's like, what is Platinum's best, really, to be honest, and how much of it is Platinum?
I'd say it's either Bayonetta or Nier.
Well, I'd say that the best.
Oh yeah, they did.
I'd say that the best Platinum game's Nier Automata, but also I feel like that's got a lot to do with Yoko Taro.
A lot of that.
I feel like that's 90% of that is him, because all the story and the world building will have come from his crazy fucking mind.
Yeah.
So
I think it would. I think the full statement was Bayonetta is probably the best of purely Platinum project.
I'd probably agree.
Like, yeah, I like Nier Automata more than either Bayonetta game, but it also, like, a lot of that is because of the story and stuff that is from Yoko Taro, and whereas the combat is great in that game, but also it's not even as good as it is in Bayonetta, and I still like the story still makes up for it.
Yeah, but no, it's like I say, it's an interesting series, and who knows where 3 is like. It's like 3 is such a weird game before everything that happened today, because it's like, I feel like we've seemingly seen everything and nothing at the same time. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like we've seen very little gameplay, but I feel like the gameplay that they have showcased is all that there is to this video game. I feel like there is the regular Bayonetta combat. I feel like there's the weird like spider kind of vehicle levels, and there's probably a couple of gimmicks here and there that we're missing. I saw that there's like, in another trailer, I saw there was like this Metal Gear kind of inspired kind of 2D section with Jean that looked weird. But it's like, Platinum's been in a very weird space recently. We've seen it with Babylon's Fall. We've seen it with basically every project that Platinum's been releasing in the past couple of years. Scalebound going under, which I don't think is 100% on Microsoft at this point. I feel like that game was probably shit, and that's probably why Xbox cancelled it. But it's a weird one. It's a weird one, but I do like Bayo 2. There's parts that I really like. Like I say, that first level is fantastic.
I remember, I can say this now definitively since I played the first one. Bayo 2's final battle is actually solid, as opposed to Jubileus was.
Always the sign of a good final boss if you just go, you know what I mean? It's good shit. But yeah, it's like I say, it's interesting, especially because you're playing it basically a decade, 8 years after it came out. So it's an interesting one. But anyway, we've fucking beat around the bush long enough. Let's just get into it. Let's talk about this fucking shit that went down today on Saturday.
Literally this morning.
Does anyone have any of the shit up? I probably should have done a better job.
We have a chat. I can snag it.
I'll just go over here. We'll just go over to Nintendo Life, because I know that Nintendo Life doesn't autoplay their videos, which is what I really appreciate when on a podcast. So we'll go to them. But yeah, basically, for those of you who are unaware, Bayonetta's OG voice actor has had a falling out with Platinum because they refused to pay her decent wage for her performance. She basically posted a video up on Twitter, which has gotten, I'm not joking, a shit ton of likes. I'm not if you guys, I don't know if you guys saw, was it Mob Psycho 100 who had, the big thing recently where none of the voice actors are coming back?
I think that was the thing, right? Mob
Yeah.
Psycho. It was
Yeah.
Yeah, because this isn't the only instance of this recently with voice talent being like just tossed aside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it never is. 162,000 likes and 12.8k retweets as of time of recording, which
5
is
million views.
Which is a lot.
As well.
5.2 million views. Yeah, that's a lot. But basically, if you didn't notice, about 2 weeks ago, a couple of weeks before release, they announced that Helena Taylor, who's been playing Bayonetta in Bayo 1 and 2 and Smash Bros. For Wii U and Smash Ultimate, and basically anything that Bayonetta has ever been in, has been voiced by Helena Taylor, is no longer the voice and has been replaced in Bayonetta 3. And everyone was like, that's a bit weird. Like...
Yeah.
This is like, why we noticed in the first trailer. I remember saying Bayonetta sounded off in the first trailer.
We said that she sounded off, but we were also the circumstances of the world and whatnot, as far as inside of Bayonetta. I mean, not the actual world,
not our world.
Like inside of Bayonetta, it seemed something seemed off about that re-reveal anyway. So, we were perplexed for sure. I recall, but we weren't sure as to why yet.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, right? So we'll get into it. So if you didn't know, they announced a couple of weeks ago that Jennifer Hale, acclaimed voice actress, who you probably know from something in your life. If you played games in the past couple of years, you'll know her as Rivet in Ratchet and Clank. If you have played games even further than that, you'll know her as FemShep in Mass Effect. She's done a load of roles that everybody
Naomi in Metal
knows.
Gear Solid.
Naomi, yeah. She's done a lot of stuff. She was replacing, which is very weird. We were like, okay, that's a weird pick. And then today, Helena basically went to Twitter to basically shoot fucking Platinum Games in the face, essentially, by basically stating that they offered her 4,000 USD for the entirety of Bayonetta 3. That is the entirety of the project as the lead. And that wasn't her first offer. That wasn't their first offer either. That was what she negotiated as final offer. So they went even lower initially. That was after negotiations, was $4,000. And she decided to step away from it because, of course, that's not a decent wage for the lead of your fucking video game from a popular IP, which people are always like, Bayonetta's not that popular. If it sells 1 million copies because it's a Nintendo IP, spoiler alert, it's in the upper echelon of fucking video games, especially for
it's amongst
games like
Platinum Games' most popular franchises anyway.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. So $4,000, which is, fucking ridiculous, because I think people are like, that's a lot of money. I'm like, it's not. If it's like, say you get, as a voice actor, you tend to get like 2 or 3 big jobs a year. That's what you if you're lucky, you get 2 or 3 big jobs a year. $4,000, well done. You're now on $12,000 a year by Platinum Games standards. That's basically what you're going to get, which isn't. You can't live on that, especially if you work in LA like most of these actors do.
It's expensive out there.
Yeah. So basically, after all this, she's basically expressed all of her anger and frustration with this, and then basically said, hey, boycott the game, which, everyone loves a good boycott. You know what the internet's like. They never do it, but they're always, whenever someone whispers the word boycott, they're like, I'm in, son of a bitch, I'm in. Although, to be fair, I'll say this, Bayonetta fans, better at boycotting than, like, Call of Duty people and all of them, because, let me tell you, I've seen people actually boycott this. I've seen them cancelling pre-orders. There's been actual cancellations of pre-orders from this. I know John Cartwright from Good Vibes Gaming, he cancelled his pre-order. I know a load of other people that are notable have been like, hey, we're not covering this game anymore. Fair play. And then I don't have the tweet. Oh, here it is, from Hideki Kamiya, obviously, producer on Platinum.
Everyone's favorite.
Everyone, remember, just say hi, smiley face to him on Twitter and he'll block you real quick, don't you worry. His thing was sad and deplorable about the attitude of untruth. That's all I can tell now. By the way, beware of my rules. Basically, he's like, nah, they're not telling. Yeah, fake news. And if you reply to me, I'll block you. Yeah, and if you reply to me, I'll block you. And rightfully so. 5,000 quote tweets, 3,000 likes. Definitely getting ratioed. My favourite part is if you go into the quote tweets, all of them is the fucking gif of the nerd glasses emoji, like, being pushed up. It's like, yeah,
great.
of course it is.
I think the man is went to just restricting his account at this point, if I'm remembering correctly, these past couple of hours.
Has he
He's
now?
limited who can reply to the
Yeah,
tweets.
he's now limited who can reply to the tweets. So,
but his account is still public.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Well,
no, yeah, his
again, all of this is as of the 15th of October.
Yes, late Saturday night, early Sunday morning for me. So that's what's happening with that. And it's one of those things where they went with Jennifer Hale. So basically, I was talking to Hunter about this earlier. I've basically my deduction of this is they tried to go non-union, which a lot of places like Crunchyroll, for example, with Mob Psycho do, because they can rip people off, because guilds, Screen Actors Guild, like SAG-AFTRA and other unions, tend to do this shocker thing where they demand a fair price for their performances, which is like crazy to me. What a concept, what a novel idea that is. So they tried to go non-union. They basically gave a massive middle finger to Helena Taylor. Helena Taylor said no, which they probably were not expecting. They were probably just expecting her to do it regardless. And then they were like, well, fans are going to get angry if we just replace her with a nobody. So they probably went, oh, fuck, we're going to have to go for a union actor and pay more anyway. So it's a loss for, like, everybody involved. I don't know. It's just like...
I don't get it, man. Because, like, putting aside the fact that Jennifer Hale probably costs more than Helena Taylor anyway, Yuri Lowenthal and Great Elise are both voice characters in this series too,
Yeah.
Like, and as far as I know, they're still in this one.
Yeah, and they've had to go. They've had to go union with that.
I don't like. You wouldn't have paid them $4,000. No way you would have got away with that.
It's really interesting because I remember seeing the voice of Rivali from Breath of the Wild also mention his pay
I've been seeing a bunch
today.
of this.
And he mentioned how he was paid roughly around $3,000 each for each game, and there's been arguments about that as well. I think people have worked out, like, especially in Breath of the Wild, there's about 15 minutes of cutscenes with Rivali in there, so there's still a decent chunk of performance, because it's not a quick thing, voice acting. That's not 15 minutes in a booth there. That's like several recording sessions of multiple hours to get everything working there. I wonder if Nintendo has gone the similar way of Crunchyroll. I feel like they're going a lot non-union with a lot of their stuff recently, and it's different to say. Can't really talk about Xenoblade, because Xenoblade, a lot of the voice casters in Europe, so I don't know how that works. I don't know. No one from the Xenoblade cast has come out and said anything about their kind of pay for these kinds of games, but it definitely seems from other voice standpoints that they have not been going union and have been charging been paying significantly less, which is stupid, especially when you've got other major JRPGs in this kind of like same genre who do go for people who are under union. For example, Persona, which has always gone with union actors, or if they haven't, then those actors have moved to union later and they've continued to employ them, which is like you say, Yuri Lowenthal, obviously Laura Bailey, Max Mittelman, these are all Robbie Damon. These are all union actors who are getting paid, and even if they do replace people, like they replaced Troy Baker with Matt Mercer, also a union actor. It's not like I just don't understand. Like, I understand maybe wanting to pay less, but like arbitrarily so, like ridiculously so, is kind of unreal.
While I was chatting with a couple of people beforehand about this, one thing that was brought up was like lowballing her to make her quit for something. Like, I don't know why you would want to, but doing that, which I don't know, if they want to be spiteful and stupid, then it worked, like
I don't see that happening either, though. That's the thing, because it's like you've got the rest of the cast returning for the most part. It's a very
I still don't get it. Like, it's such a stupid unforced error putting like this. Like, people were really excited for this game until
literally
12 hours ago.
And it's not like, and like you say, it's not like this is like a minor slip up on a like a perfectly good track record from Platinum. Platinum is not in good eyes.
This year was Babylon's Fall.
I'd say the last time people looked at Platinum games in the same way that they think people look at Platinum games was Nier Automata. I feel like they're still riding that Nier Automata high from 2017 because I'm like, you know, they've had other games like Astral Chain, but
yeah, that was
nothing
well received. But
nothing
also
huge.
Nintendo bought that IP now, so technically anyone could make that game that Nintendo saw fit.
It's just like Platinum Games is not in a good place. And it's
I don't get it.
Neither do I.
Not to mention, like in the weeks following Babylon's Fall being confirmed to die soon, they said that they're still not deterred from trying live service games or whatever. Like,
of course not.
It's like, come on now. This really wasn't the put your hand in the fire so it's not a good idea thing. Like, I don't know what's going on with them anymore. It's
no clue.
Perplexing.
No clue. Like I say, it's just I don't know what to say. Like I say, am I gonna it's one of those interesting things. I feel like Bayonetta be a good case study if you want to boycott. It's a good case study because it's not a Call of Duty. If Bayonetta fans do not show up, that game's not going to sell gangbusters. So if you personally want to, go ahead. I cancelled mine, but I'm not gonna act like I got on a high horse. I cancelled mine because I didn't want the fucking video game. I'm not gonna act
he
like I'm
canceled his a week ago.
I'm not gonna act like it's because of some high and mighty purpose. But hey, if I still had it pre-ordered, I probably would have cancelled it just because I was not interested. And now they fucked over the main voice actor for the game. So yeah, of course I would have. But
I mean, I might like. Plague Tale Requiem comes out next week. I can play that instead. God of War will be out in a couple weeks after that. Then by then I can probably get the game used.
If you're a JRPG fan and you don't own a PlayStation, if you're on Nintendo Switch, Persona 5 Royal is literally out next Friday. You've had Nier Automata, which just came out a couple of weeks ago. Both of them are excellent ports. Spoiler alert for the Persona 5 port. I've seen gameplay. Whether it was leaked or not, that's not my place to say. But it runs fantastic. You've heard it here first.
Spoilers, it's a PS3 game.
Spoilers, it's a PS3 game. It looks fantastic and plays fantastic on a Nintendo Switch. Who would have guessed? But it's like, you like you say, like Hunter said, you've not got a shortage of games, even if you're on Switch, You've had plenty of JRPGs this year on Nintendo Switch, those two. You've had Xenoblade a couple of months ago, so if you hadn't picked that up, shocker, that's a great game as well. Even if
you like the wacky action games, the Devil May Cry trilogy is also
on there
on the Switch.
Yeah.
Skip 2, but 1 and 3 will still give you, a solid weekend.
And it's the best way to play 3 because it gives you free style switching
and a weapon wheel.
And you can always, if you really wanted to play, if you haven't played any Bayonetta game, you could always pick up Bayonetta 2 secondhand. You can always do that, or pick up Bayonetta 3 secondhand. If you really need to play this video game but don't want to give them money, let me just tell you, secondhand, that's your friend, because there are the twats. You've seen GameStop, you've seen like Game in the UK, you've seen them where on launch day they'll have the pre-owned thing already there for like £2 less, and you're like, why is that there already? Why is it $2 cheaper? Who's bought it, opened it up and gone, that disc looks ugly, take it back? Who's done that?
This cartridge tastes horrible.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If you're really feeling that bad, go and do that. Who gives a shit?
It wouldn't take that long for by the time I beat God of War, if I do decide not to play it right away, which, like I just said, I might not, it'll probably be off. It'll probably already be, there will be a used copy.
But yeah. It's a really stupid situation, and it's kind of baffling. You've heard about voice actors not returning and all this stuff before, and you've heard about a lot of this in the anime industry, and you tend to think that you'd hope that the games industry would be better than this, because it's ridiculous. You've heard stuff about I can't remember if it was Demon Slayer or something like that, where it was people the voice actors for one of the biggest, or was it Jujutsu Kaisen, one of the biggest anime recently, people were paid $500 for the entirety of the season each, or something ridiculous, and it's made millions in profits. And it's you expect this shit from terrible anime dubs. like terrible like anime dub companies that Crunchyroll employs, because not that the artists are terrible, the practices and the companies themselves are terrible. And it's like, really?
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Was it Jujutsu Kaisen?
Jujutsu Kaisen, yeah.
How much were they paid? It was ridiculously low.
150 total.
Yeah, there you go. It was stupid. It was stupid. It was absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Stupid.
It was
anime companies. I could, by the rates you're paying, I could have bought the voice season of your show. That's stupid. That shouldn't be possible.
That's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. You'd expect to, that's like.
Oh my god, Robbie Damon was in this.
Robbie, why did you give
Ray
the
Chase, Kyle Hebert, Susie Young, Lex Lang? Holy shit.
Lex Lang?
Xander Mobus, Allegra Clark, Laura Post.
What?
Damn. What? Amberly Connors, Chris Hackney.
All these incredibly talented people done so dirty. Like
Kanji Tang. Sorry, didn't mean to derail this, but wow.
Yeah.
I didn't think Robbie Damon would be the first name I saw on this list.
Yeah, what the fuck?
$150?
That's ridiculous. Yeah, that's absolutely like nuts.
That sounds illegal.
Yeah, it sounds stupid, like beyond silly.
Movie earned over 34 million at the US box office and grossed roughly 196 million worldwide.
The average voice actor was paid $150 for their work on this movie and did not receive any royalties. So this is the same guy that voices Rivali, Sean Chiplock. He just spilling all the fucking tea. Shout outs to you, Sean, because you just seem to love spilling it, and I'm here for it.
He's a good man.
It seems like these $150 for the most part seems to be secondary cast members for the most part, but that's still not fucking good enough. I don't care if they have one fucking line.
Excuse.
They should be paid more than that. Like, that's ridiculous. That's absolutely fucking stupid. That's ludicrous. Anyway, God.
Like, it's stupid.
It is fucking stupid. Of course it is.
Come on now. Especially with these character, talent that's so tied to the portrayal of what people think of when they think of these characters. I know it's a different medium, but voice acting and acting should be, treated respectably similar.
Yeah.
You wouldn't just do that to a movie if you couldn't have done that to, I don't know, pick an MCU actor. I don't care.
Tom Holland.
Yeah.
He's in everything anyway, yeah.
Or you couldn't have done that to Robert Downey Jr.
Or here. You couldn't do this to Chris Pratt in the Mario movie.
Yeah, exactly. It's
$1
it's like say what you want.
To do it.
Yeah. You will not see this from Sony or Microsoft first party. You will not see this in the fucking slightest. So why is Nintendo any different? Why is Nintendo the shitters here? I don't understand it. Say what you want about Sony's wonderful third-person action RPG video games that they release every fucking year for no reason. They're all the same. They probably pay Troy Baker and everybody else and Yuri Lowenthal quite well for those video games and not $3,000. Yeah. It's fucking stupid. Absolutely ridiculous. So, at least you're all now aware. You can make your choice. You decide. Do you want the game that badly? Do you not want the game that badly? Like I say, Persona 5 Royal's out, and that's a great video game. You should play that. Or maybe God of War Ragnarok, if you're on PlayStation. It's only out it's 2 weeks after Bayonetta. Fuck it, if you're on PlayStation, you're probably a fucking normie and buying COD on that day anyway. So, what the fuck am I talking to PlayStation fans about? Yeah, fucking normies. Anyway.
If you have PlayStation Plus, Dragon Quest XI goes free this month.
Oh, there you go play that.
That's a big video game.
There's loads of games. You can go play Deathloop and be bored like Sam was today. Go do that.
Sam was playing Deathloop today.
Yeah, because I egged him on. I egged him on and was like, shocker, it's a bad game. I know, it's great.
You pulled him away from actually playing Trials of Mana.
Oof.
A game he would have enjoyed.
My plan worked. Anyway.
Sick of your shenanigans, Ethan.
Well,
Anyways.
Gotham
Tell
Knights.
the people at home what else has happened this week.
Oh, if talking about games that if you were slightly interested in, you might want to cancel your pre-order. Gotham Knights was a game that up until like a week before launch, it still was like if this game gets like an 8 or a 9, I might still get it because I haven't got an itch for a Batman game because it has been 8 years, 7 years. It's been a while, so I was like, it's close. So anyway, earlier this year they announced that they scrapped the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions of this game, and everyone's like, yeah, fair play, whatever. If they don't run well, fair play. Turns out the PS5 and Xbox versions don't run well either, so there you go. Double or nothing, as it's confirmed that Gotham Knights will just be running at 30 FPS on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. And I want to fucking put money down on this now, that within 3 months, they will do a Hallelujah Jesus moment, like fucking Watch Dogs Legion did, where they're like, guys, we've miraculously discovered 60 frames per second in our video game. Look at this. Come back, please. We're begging you, please. We're so depressed and so sad. So yes. By the way, they announced this on their Discord. They didn't even put a public statement out. They announced this on their Discord. Yeah, because they knew it was going to go. So on Discord, they tagged everyone. This is it. It's like a fucking, this is stupid. This is like a speedrun community when someone's been cancelled. They just at everyone.
Twitter anyways.
At everyone. Anyway, I know many of you are wondering about the availability of performance mode for Gotham Knights and consoles due to the types of features we have in our game, like providing a fully untethered co-op experience in our highly detailed open world. It's not as straightforward as lowering the resolution and getting a higher FPS. For this reason, our game does not have a performance/quality toggle option and will run at 30 frames per second on consoles. Now, I'd also like to make mention of this, that they also confirmed just a couple of weeks ago that this game is running in close to native 4K and has also got ray tracing enabled by default, which cannot be disabled. So this game can only run at 30 FPS, but it's also being rendered at 4K, has ray tracing, and there's no performance mode. What is this bollocks? Like, what the fuck? This is like saying, oh, by the way, on PC there's only one graphics setting. Fuck you. That's what the graphics setting is. To provide an untethered experience, everyone has to have a 4090 or get the fuck out. Like, what is this? Like, it's so stupid.
To have a really untethered experience, you have to play something else.
Yeah, it's so stupid. It's like, I don't understand. Like, I just don't get it. It's like, if Horizon Forbidden West and all these other games can have it, a 60 FPS mode, why can't Gotham? It doesn't even look next gen. It doesn't even look that good. It looks shit. It looks worse than Arkham Knight, and that game's 7 years old. Like, I don't get it. I genuinely don't get it. And it's like, this is like it's like the straw that broke the camel's back. It's like, there's so many nitpicks I've had with this game. Like, it's shitty combat. The way that its fucking dialogue is extremely cringy. But I kept giving this game little glimmers of hope. I was like, it has a potential to be good. Maybe maybe the combat's just early. Maybe they'll fix this. And it's just stuff like this where it's like, what's the fucking point? Like, what's the point of this video game? You've worked on this game for like 5 years, 7 years. The last game you released was 9 years ago, and this is what we're coming up with. Like, what the fuck? Like, oh my god. It's so stupid. I just don't know what to say. Like, it's so dumb. But don't worry, guys. They're adding a 4-player. Yeah, but they're adding a 4-player co-op mode later. Don't worry. And like, it's stupid.
Later?
Yeah.
Not
like a month later.
launch?
No, a month later, and it'll be like challenge maps.
Buddy,
yeah, it's got 2-player co-op.
Challenge maps? Yeah.
Hmm.
And honestly, if you're playing as a group of 2 or 4 of Batman's loser sidekicks, who really cares?
This game, it's just like, I've really, honestly, like, I had so much hope for this game, Court of Owls is a cool storyline from the comics. It's a really cool creepy idea.
Why is it being stuck in this game?
Batman being dead, like, Batman being dead and everybody else having to pick up the pieces. Also interesting kind of take on it. But then for it to just turn into this extremely generic Avengers-looking ass video game that can't even have a top-quality toggle because apparently the immersive world is too detailed for your puny console, peasant. It's like, what the fuck even is this game? And spoiler alert, I bet you the story's generic as fuck. I bet you Batman's still alive, dude. I'm going to put money on that right now. I bet you the final boss, the second to final...
that since they've announced the premise.
You're probably going to have to fight him at the end or something like that. He's probably going to be brainwashed by the Court of Owls and you're probably going to have to fight him. And I don't care if I just spoiled the game. I don't know, but if that's a spoiler, then they deserve to have that fucking spoiled because it's shit. Like, what is this game? I just don't...
I feel like if you sarcastically revealed the identity of the Arkham Knight before that game launched, like...
I feel like everybody did just by joking, going, it's this person, and it was, and everyone was like, wow, okay, whatever. I hope Suicide Squad fucking fares better.
As much as I hate that and what they did with that character, I still respect them enough to not say who it is. What's my problem?
It's been 7 years, but we're like, nah, no spoilers. No spoilers.
Hey, I still haven't played it.
I love that. No, and if you're not a comics person,
guess. Like you could look at it, you could look at a couple of stories like it, and you would probably figure it out.
Yeah,
not gonna lie, I thought the Arkham Knight was Batman.
He looks like Batman. He looks like Batman. He's Robo Batman.
Bat.
But you know,
he's in that game though.
The thing, Hunter, the thing with that story is as stupid as the plot twist of Arkham Knight is, and how obvious it is. The story around Arkham Knight and all the story in it is still so good that I refuse to give up the little fumble that they did that was really shit. I'll respect the fumble because the rest of it's so good. This, like, I like how we're talking about like this is an actual spoiler that we've given out when we have no fucking clue. Like, I love how this is. I love how this is the part of the podcast where it's like we feel like we've spoiled the game, even though I've not watched a single fucking trailer in months for this video game. The last one I watched was like E3, so it's like
I think the last thing I saw about it was I don't know, it was a clip where someone was playing and there was some licensed song came in and through the background or whatever.
Oh yeah, Janet Garcia played that.
Janet Garcia.
It was like Living the Vida Loca or some shit, and it was like really bad. And it was like Kyle, it was like a cover of Living the Vida Loca. It wasn't even like the actual version. And someone said it was like it's cheesy enough, but if it was the actual song, I'd at least respect. Like I'd at least allow it, where it's like this really awful cover version of it, which is not good. Anyway, so no, I'm not. If you're wondering, is Ethan going to cave? No, because I know this game's going to get a 7 out of 10 at best. It's going to be $30 in like 2 months. In fact, Black Friday, right, just around the corner. It'll be on sale then, because that's what this kind of game Gotham Knights is.
You can go pick it up with your copy of Bayonetta 3.
Yeah, and I really hope that I hope you really enjoy looking at how detailed this world is, because apparently they can't fucking put a performance toggle in it. Like, what an absolute shit show. Like, genuinely. That's some kind of Nintendo-looking ass excuse. When Nintendo has a new Switch, that's their kind of excuse. Oh, we're sorry, guys. Too detailed. That's why Mario Kart 9 only runs at 20 FPS. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. It's too detailed. Look at Toad. Look at him. Wow. Anyway, I feel like that will be. I feel like it's good. I've got that off my chest. I feel like that's the end of the Gotham Knight saga on this fucking podcast, and I feel like it's good. I feel like that's
unless one of us actually plays the game.
I might in the future.
Improbable.
When it's like, if it's like by the time it's like $20, there might be a 60 FPS patch, so I might pick it up, you know. But it's like even then, I'm like, if I really wanted to go play a Batman game, I'll just go play one of the old ones. I can wait.
Yeah. And if you want to play a game that's similar to that, if you just wait, or similar to what Gotham Knights appears to be, except maybe better, if you just wait a year, Rocksteady will have that Suicide Squad game,
which looks a lot better.
Out, yeah, it's looked better since, yeah.
Yeah, and that one you actually get to play as fun characters instead of playing as Batman 1, 2, 3, and 4. You actually have 4 characters that look different and unique. Wow, what a shocker!
It'd actually be 4 different iterations of Batman 0.25.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Which Batman Junior do you want? Do you want his first one, his second one, his adopted one, or the 4th one? Like that's like why it's like so stupid. Anyway, fucking regardless, I don't care. Moving on. Let's talk about it. We've Xenoblade 3, right? Okay. God damn it.
Whoa.
That happened.
Whoa.
Whoa. Okay. I don't know where to take this, Kyle. Where do you want to start? Xenoblade 3 DLC released this week. DLC Pack 2. Yeah. What did it include?
Pack 2 came out. New hero character, Ino. She's a cool little robot chick. Artificial blade. And challenge mode came out.
Yes.
So
those are the 2 features under.
That's it.
Aren't you jealous? Aren't you envious that you don't have the season pass? Wow.
Nah, I'm feeling A-okay right now. Challenge pack in Xenoblade. I thought the combat in 3 was better. It's not that much better.
Yeah. Like, we'll talk about that because
It's
I think
impossibly unbalanced.
the thing with Xenoblade and their season passes, at least for 2 and 3, is, well, you didn't know with 2 how big Torna was going to be, but with 3, everybody who's bought this season pass has essentially gone to themselves, I know that $30 is worth whatever this expansion will be because it's going to be a 20 to 30 hour RPG that we're going to get at the end of it. So we feel like money's down on that. Whatever we get in between is this little bonus. And to be honest, I feel like from what I've played of this one, which is the big one, it's basically one half of the DLC that we'll get for this. There might be some more DLC that they add as a free update later down the line when Torna releases. Who knows? We'll see. But for the most part, this is like the first half. And from this little chunk, I can very safely much say that they are also in the ballpark of all our money's going into this final expansion. You're getting bits and pieces here now, and you're just going to deal with it. Because, yeah, it's basically just adding another hero quest. That's basically what this did in terms of main story.
Yeah.
As for my review of this hero quest, I did not like this character. It was like everything annoying in Xenoblade meshed into a fucking video game character, and I was like, ah yes, cool, high-pitched girl, Nop-on noises, Nop-on voice, let's go, okay, cool, all about Nop-on.
Ew.
Well, yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy I didn't buy this.
It's alright, the quest itself is fine, there are a couple of nice nods. It's obviously heavily based because it's an artificial blade with the Nop-ons. It's obviously heavily based on like Xenoblade 2 lore. It's got some nice little bits and pieces. They make a nice little nod to drivers and blades, and everyone going, "What the fuck does that mean?" It's a cool little nod to 2.
Dude, I genuinely forgot they didn't know what drivers and blades were.
Yeah, because when she said she was an artificial blade, they were like, "You mean the sword? Like, you mean a sword? You're just a sword? Like, you're a." She was like, "Yeah, it's like you're like a humanized version of a sword."
Every time you start using the Xenoblade lingo to someone who hasn't played the games yet.
Yeah, basically, that's what it is. So yeah, there's some fun little bits like that. There's a nice little nod at the end where they play the Xenoblade 2 battle theme, which was nice, in the final boss, which I liked. That was kind of cool. There's some nice little bits. So I did all of it. I did both the Ascension quest, I did the regular shit. I maxed out her little ability tree, which is a lot nicer than in Xeno 2. If you're expecting poppy shit, it's not. It's basically walk around and collect all of the ether, like little ether points, like these ether orbs that you can collect, and that's all you have to do really. I had enough garbage from my first playthrough to fully upgrade my little cylinder to max, so I only had to run around and collect everything once, and I got enough for all the upgrades. It's fine. As for the hero in terms of gameplay, she's pretty good. I think her stats are fucking pretty good. Her chain attack is a bit weak. Her actual hero ability, like her actual thing adds like 200% extra damage or whatever to the damage total, so that's pretty good.
Too bad by the time I'm using the extra person in the chain attacks, I was always everything was usually dead.
Dude, you should have seen my face when I saw the quest and it was like a level 20 quest, and I was like, you're fucking with me. Like, I'm level 90. And I'm not lowering myself down for this. So I just literally just like started bonking people on the head with the fucking horny stick, and they were dying. And I was like, cool. Good game. But she's like, her chain attack thing is just like, brings back the lowest damage dealer and adds 30, which is fine. It's not terrible. Her other thing's really pretty decent. But in terms of stats, she's like, there's not many defenders in Xeno 3. So it's nice to have another defender. Especially because she's a decent defender as well. I actually like her quite a bit. Like I say, her fucking health stats like one of the highest, if not the highest, if you fully upgrade her.
She wouldn't make it into my party.
This is just everything Hunter doesn't like.
Yeah. The voice acting was extremely annoying. There was some very awkward moment. Like, it's like, it was fine. Is it worth buying the DLC for and going and rushing to it now? No. Nah. Is it worth maybe once all the DLC's out going back and checking it out, or if you're going to play it again at some point to add it? Sure, probably.
Yeah,
but it's all right. It takes
with
like
the DLC, you should be able. Yeah, with the DLC, you should on a new playthrough, you should be able to get her added to your team
fairly quickly. It'll be on like chapter
Yeah, it's
chapter
chapter
2,
3, I'm pretty
chapter
sure.
3. Yeah,
Yeah,
start of chapter 3 because she's in that area. So,
yeah.
not bad, not bad at all. Really, and like I say, she's actually a good hero. So she definitely would be good for early game. So
Oh, for sure.
there's that bonus, and then there's challenge mode. And I'm like you, Hunter. I don't give a shit about challenge mode because challenge mode shit always all the time. It's like I'm not here to be challenged. I'm here to have a fun time. I'm not here. I'm not here to sit around and go, okay, I'm sorry, fucker, you didn't hit them hard enough. Like you weren't quick enough, and that's kind of what this is. As someone who doesn't use Lucky 7, for just shits and giggles, to be honest. It's just because I never have, so I never will. It's one of those challenges. You know how like in Death Stranding Hunter, I never got caught by the BTs, so I was just like, I'm just never gonna get caught by the BTs. I don't want to see it. This is the same way where it's like, never used Lucky 7 except for in the tutorial. Don't plan on it now because I'm just like, fuck it. I haven't used it up until this point. Might as well never use it.
That's the spirit.
So
Yeah,
you said that the challenge mode with Lucky 7 is ridiculously fucking easy.
it becomes absolute piss, dude. It's a joke.
That's the experience of having Lucky 7 available to you.
Well,
in the
yeah.
main game too. So,
but see, here's the thing with Lucky 7: all of its attacks are AOE, including its talent art, which is a full driver combo, break, topple, launch, smash, and the damage scaling on smash in this game is fucking stupid. So you'll just get like a whole group of enemies all launched in the air and smashed down, and then everything explodes.
Yeah.
Pair that with you pair it with Flash Fencer's skill to just get your whole talent art filled right at the start of battle.
It was so great,
the game's
man. I loved having that thing at the end of the game. It was so amazing watching boss.
Oh yeah, it was funny.
Watching boss health bars just disappear when I hit him with that stupid topple. Yeah, the whole sequence you just rattled off there. It was hilarious. It's like being at the end of Dragon Age, and my character's like impervious to everything at that point because I'm like level 4,000.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But in challenge mode, when I'm doing the hardest challenge, fighting a level 200 super boss, and half of its health bar just goes away from one talent art, the challenge scaling is definitely not there like it was in Xenoblade 2.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't use Lucky 7, like I did, there's not really much of a challenge too much either. Like, they took me 1 or 2 tries to get the A ranking, to get the outfits. I basically did JRPG fan %, where I just did all the challenges that got me the swimsuits and got the requirements and went, salute, that is the game completed, thank you. I'm not even going to use them, I just know that I have them now, so that's like, job done. Mission accomplished. All the others were giving me like fucking items and like items, menus, gross. Get that out of here. So I just did those, and it's like they're fine. They don't take too long. It took me like an hour or 2 to get all of the outfits. Like I say, it's fine because you're getting this big game at the end. That's the thing. And to be fair, should I be like that when I know that I'm going to be the stupid person where if they release it physically, I'm going to buy it physically and play it on the cart like a dumbass? Like anyway, it's like
same.
It's like it's silly, but I think that the season pass is definitely worth it just because you're going to get that 30-hour RPG at the end of it because it's the end game, right? It's the end goal. You're going to get it. And if you are a Xenoblade fan and you do like it, then you're probably going to not mind going back and doing these little 5-hour things. The interesting thing is with DLC 3, they've already copped out with the swimsuits. How are they going to get me to play challenge mode again? That's my thing. I don't think they're going to get me, Hunter. I don't think they are.
You gotta, unless
they're all like wearing super.
Question.
They're going to give them more outfits, maybe locked behind challenge mode again, but... It's interesting because there's so many costumes in that game because of all the stupid cosplays. It's kind of interesting. We'll see, but they were a lot easier to get than Xeno 2s. I will give you that. So if you were like, if you're like me and you never really liked the challenge mode, and then you never got any of the bonus costumes in Xeno 2, because
what if the bonus costumes the next time are like they get an old character's outfit?
Then that's probably how they would get me back in, to be honest. But Also, I do want to give a massive
imagine lands with Zeke's clothes or something.
Yeah, that would get me back in. I do want to give a massive shout out to two things. One, Lance's ugly ass fucking yellow fucking spandex swimsuit, which is so fucking abhorrent that I love it. No one's in a swimsuit except for him. That is his new outfit. Congratulations, Lance. You've blown up. I hope your bright yellow arse is just shining throughout the entirety of the story. It's really bright. Like, I'm not even overemphasizing it. It's like Kill Bill bright. Am I right? Like, Kyle, it's really bright.
I was about to say that.
It's like that bright. It genuinely is. I feel like it's the exact same color where I'm like, is this supposed to be like a Kill Bill reference? It's that bright. I'm like, oh my god. It's wonderful. And two, obviously, also Adam Howden is voicing the Nopon in the Nopon Archage. If you did not know.
That's right.
Which is also very cool, which is interesting because they reused, in the Japanese version, they reused a voice actor for that. They reused the voice of Zed, for the voice actor for Zed. So to me, that almost confirms that Adam Howden's come in to do some voice work, probably for the DLC, because they're not just going to bring him in and go, hey, shits and giggles, do you want to do 2 voice lines as a Nopon, bro? Like, I'm sure he would. But He would, but... You know, it's in the same way as they did the Shulk lines for Xeno 2's DLC because he was already coming back for the ending and stuff like that. So it was like things like that already kind of made sense. So I feel like it's a similar vein where I feel like they're double dipping. Because like I said, if they reuse the voice actor for Zed in Japanese, you think they'd do the same over here or they just use somebody. It's weird, but hey, more Adam Howden. It's a real Xenoblade game now. Your fans can start fucking crying because he's in the game again. Well done. My real question is, where's Rex's voice actor? Bring him back. He's a tragedy. I love him. Bring him back. Bring my child back. Thank you. Anyway, I don't have anything else to say. Do you, Kyle? Do you have anything else? Anything else on the DLC?
I think kind of just looking ahead to Wave 3 and another batch of challenge mode content. One thing Xenoblade 2 did was give us a lot of like unique scenarios where like you got to play as Tora and go through like the basically like the hero pawn event for the year, or when they had you play through the part of the game with Jin where he goes and invades the More Ordained battleship. And I thought that shit was super cool, and I'd like to see more unique things like that, because a lot of the challenge mode stuff that they've given us in 3 so far is just more of Xenoblade 3's gameplay. And I'd like to see them kind of go outside of that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Obviously, we've got this one more hero as well. It'll be interesting to see if this one focuses more on the Xeno 1 side, because I mean, this one was a very Xeno 2 centric one. We'll see. I also don't know if they will, because I feel like, I don't know, if we look at Agnes and Kavesi stuff, I feel like there was so much to do with Kevez and all that stuff that I'm like, I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see where they slot in as well, because this one was a very early game one. I wonder if they'll do a late game one, or if they're just, because it's DLC, they're like, people want to get what they paid for, so we're going to stick them in that fucking area again, the Altera region or whatever it is. And like, oh, for God's sake. We'll see. It's very interesting. It's we've seen the shadow of who they are. It's another female hero, which is the shock of nobody. I think if you played Xenoblade 2, you'll know that there were 3 male characters in that entire fucking gacha pool or something ridiculous, and then everybody else was. You know, you had like 3 men and like 46 women or something. Like, that's the way that works.
Granted, 2 of those 3 men were some of the best in the game. Good old Wolfric.
Yeah,
Wolfric and Corvin.
So no, we'll see. We'll see who this new character is and what their deal is. We'll see. Anyway, let's wrap it up with you, Hunter. You've finally finished yet again another playthrough of Resident Evil 4.
The first time since back when it would have been, I think it would have been before the PS4 version even came out, because I'm pretty sure it was before. It was while I was still in school. So I think the PS4 version of the game came out like later the year that I graduated. So
nice.
Yeah, I guess the last time I played it would have been on the PS3 or something. But anyway, yeah, Resident Evil 4, still a largely fun time, and it's very funny. There's a few things that I've just been having a good old giggle about this time, because I'm like, man, I forgot. It's like Devil May Cry or Resident Evil 4 was originally
Mhm.
like Devil May Cry and all that. It's one of the easiest trivia video game things you'll ever hear
Did you know?
these days. Yeah. It's really hilarious to look around the game and see straight up where assets got recycled. Like, um, there's a door that I came across a few hours ago. There's like a lion sculpted into it, and you need some key item to pass through. That door exists in like Mission 6 of Devil May Cry, the first game. uh, there's a whole castle area that I imagine was retooled and partly a nod to people who know about that. It's really funny that way, and all sorts of, yeah. As far as how the game actually holds up, you know, pretty decently still. There are definitely things that I've run. There are definitely things that I can hope that they switch, or that I hope that they update in this remake
Mhm.
currently upcoming. Like the ability to move while you aim would be lovely, because Resident Evil 4, I guess this was before they had figured out how to let you do that, because Leon just stops in place and you have to aim. You still have to aim like while you're stuck. So yeah, the ability to move while you aim, hot swapping weapons would be nice, because you can't do that in this game either. So when a group of people get too close and suddenly I'm like, okay, I can't use the handgun anymore. I have to pause the game and equip the shotgun to, you know, deal with said problem
Mhm.
and all sorts of that. There are a couple of other annoyances that are kind of symptomatic of the control scheme, like holding an X is how you run, or I guess lightly jog is more like what he does.
I love that.
Um, uh, and reloading in this game when you're aiming is you hit X to do that. And one of the things that you can do in this game to save on some ammo is shoot a guy in the leg, and then Leon oftentimes they'll be hurt enough that you can run up and like do a roundhouse kick or suplex them or
Mhm.
something, like contextual button prompts. I trigger that a lot, because or you could just run up and knife them in the face a couple of times, and that's completely viable too. I do that a lot because I do like saving on my resources. The thing I've run into several times while playing the game was I'd be going to I'd get them to like stagger or whatever, and I'd go to start running, but it'd be before I let go of the aim button all the way. So he'd stop and reload instead, and then suddenly I can't kick the guy in the face anymore, and it's slightly annoying that way.
Mhm.
Yeah. As far as the yeah, I've said this before, kind of just going off of memory, that Resident Evil 4 struck a decent balance between its more action oriented direction while still being creepy. I stand by that. The opening of this game is still fantastic. Like the first 15 or so minutes, you come across the weird village. The first guy you encounter wants to like hatchet Leon in the face, and it's like, oh, that's weird. And it's like a cult. And then, mysteriously his bell tolls while they're probably have you cornered, because there are a lot of them in that first sequence and you don't have a lot of ammo, and then they just
Mhm.
walk off. It's a really good opening section. The other things that they do, like later when you get to the castle, suddenly you got these dudes all hooded up in like priest uniforms, and they're doing this weird chanting stuff. A lot of the noises that the enemies make to indicate that they're in the area, but you don't know exactly where they are, is really solid to like unsettle you. At least I think it would probably unsettle most people.
No.
The uh,
Not happening. I'm too good.
yeah. Um, oh, there was this really funny instance a couple days ago. Like in the castle section, there's one part where they send you down to a sewer area, and I'm sitting there like I was walking. I like entered, and I took a few steps forward, and I heard like a scuttling or some kind of, I don't know, calamitous sound happening around me. I'm like, did this
Mhm.
game have invisible enemies? because it had been long enough to where I couldn't remember. And then I had convinced myself that it was The Evil Within that did that. I was, as it turned out, The Evil Within did do that, but Resident Evil 4 also did that because then, like, I took a few more steps after deciding that I was being foolish and noticed I saw the video game invisibility silhouette, where like you see the light war. If any game where you have a guy turn invisible, you've seen it before, and then I shot it. I'm like, oh, I guess I was wrong. And it turned out that the invisible monsters in this game are just the fly monsters from Devil May Cry 1.
Not fair enough. So it's like, having played this, obviously, Resident Evil 4, classic to many people. I had a friend play Resident Evil 4 some point this year, I think, either early this year, or late last year, and he was like, oh, I still think it's great. So obviously we've had, Resident Evil 2 remake, Resident Evil 3 remake. People were like, yeah, fair enough. These games kind of deserve a remake, for better or for worse. Resident Evil 3, pretty short. Resident Evil 2, people really loved. That was Game of the Year nominated, right?
Yeah.
Going into Resident Evil 4, has playing this kind of like rejuvenated your excitement for the remake coming later, early next year? Has it made you a bit more cautious? Do you think the game needs a remake? How are you feeling about this whole RE4 remake? Because it's
not in like a crippling need of a remake. Like, I still think the game functions in a way that is acceptable, but also like those things I mentioned at the beginning are all things that I feel like it adds up to be the kind of stuff that would make it certainly the better experience. And like it'd be a further jump than like, because they'd have to completely retool how some of this stuff works. Like, I'm pretty sure the way that some of the enemies AI worked was balanced around how you're able to move and the way the camera works. So, it'd be a bit less like this Resident Evil 4 remake is still less silly than these PlayStation remakes we've been, having a go at the past couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, there's obviously a difference there, because it's like, fucking, who asked for Horizon Zero Dawn to be remade? Fucking Jesus Christ! The people that were born when that game came out will have only just started school. That's no fucking gap that needs a remake. Like, Jesus Christ! Like,
but yeah, I think for sure that this Resident Evil 4 remake has the potential to be the best version of it. I guess if you really like the kind of silly, like the silly tone that this game has sometimes, like aside from the fact that while you're playing it, the game still manages to be creepy. The tone of the story itself is super goofy.
Yeah, which they have said they're reimagining the story for.
I imagine they're changing it to be more tonally consistent with how 2 and 3 were, which took themselves or 2 and 3 remake specifically, where they took themselves a bit more seriously, where Resident Evil 4 the original iteration seemed to kind of lean into what I believe was probably accidental on their part, campy B-movie horror stuff in the classic games. Or I doubt they wrote that intentionally that way, but it's how it ended up. Resident Evil 4 just kind of leaned into it with how they had Leon acting and the goofiness of like Salazar, the little Napoleon guy who was in charge of the castle and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I'd be interested to see what they do with the story and how they change it, if it sets up for a better version of the series going forward. After that,
it will be interesting, because they're out of like golden gooses here at this point after Resident Evil 4 remake, because it's like, if they go back, if they want to really remake 5 and 6, they're gonna have to fucking go back to the drawing board and basically go, okay,
and honestly,
how do we make a good one of these?
If they did that, because there's a thing about Resident Evil 4, aside from the fact that it kind of changed the dynamic of how the game played. Some people had taken issue at the time with the fact that every game previous to that was leading up to taking down the Umbrella Corporation for what they had done in Raccoon City and all of that. And it kind of happens off screen in the prologue of 4. So,
oops.
if they could still, like, okay, so imagine if Resident Evil 4 could largely maintain the kind of same events and all that, make it pretty, change whatever you need to make the tone make sense, and you know, set it up so that 5 or 6 could be like the actual conclusion of that plot that you kind of swept under the rug because the game just had a tortured development beforehand. Because like that's one of the I read this really cool thread about what the specifics of what Devil May Cry's Resident Evil 4 was gonna be, where like you were playing who became Dante was the the lost child of the Spencer family, who was like the Spencer Mansion, part of the people responsible for Umbrella and the whole outbreak that happened. So it looked like that was, for all intents and purposes, until everything got too crazy for the series, um, going to be the kind of finale of that thread. It'd be interesting to see if they could set up a kind of make good for that in a way.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what the future of Resident Evil really is, because obviously 4's the kind of last remake that is kind of people.
They could backpedal and still go do Code Veronica.
They could
if they wanted to.
If they really wanted to. I don't know if they would.
If they need to stall because
they
like
need to stall.
I don't know, because like I think a lot of people wanted them to remake that one still. Like when I saw at least a solid number of people being like, when 4 got announced that it was being remade, not like the official announcement, but back when
when it was leaked, like a year and a half before,
when it was heavily rumored to go. Yeah, people were like, man, it would have been cool to see Code Veronica get the treatment that the other ones got, because for all intents and purposes, it was like a main series Resident Evil game. It just didn't have a number.
Yeah.
And also, that game could use some retooling. It's like a 6-hour game that somehow still managed to overstay its welcome.
Nice, I love those. Those are great.
Man, like I played it, I want to say last year was when I played it, and like, man, I was ready for it to be done at like hour 4. Like the last act essentially shouldn't have happened.
Nice.
Or they should have engineered a scenario where the last act was wrapping up at hour 4.
No.
But yeah, it is interesting to think about where the series is going to go, because even like the golden version of Resident Evil 8 that they're putting out soon is going to have like it seems like it's beginning to seem like the whole first person thing, it was an experiment that they decided that they were going to conduct for 7, and then kept it with 8, and now they are done with it.
Yeah.
Or they might be done with it anyway, because of the whole like, oh, now you can play 8 in third person in this update, and the Rose DLC is also playable in third person and all that.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, like I say, because with the whole Ethan Winters kind of family storyline kind of wrapping up with the DLC and stuff like that. It'll be very interesting to see where Resident Evil goes next. It's like, because for a while it has been this kind of, not necessarily separated, but this kind of Ethan Winters kind of timeline on the Resident Evil kind of scale, where it's like, all the mold.
There's been like 2 branches
shit,
of the series essentially, where you got the continuing on from what we had left.
And then they had the remakes to kind of,
and then the remakes.
Bring to keep like old fans that weren't necessarily interested in 7 as much invested in the franchise. So it'll be interesting to see where 9 goes after 4. Do they just go back to, hey, look, it's your classic, here's some characters that you really like, and we're doing a third person horror game again, and it's basically, we don't need to do remakes anymore because we're just gonna follow what we did. We're gonna follow the kind of the template that we created with 2, and that seemed to be really popular, so we're gonna follow that and do a brand new one of those and see how that goes. It'll be interesting.
It would be interesting. Also, like, I feel like it'll be interesting to see how they decide to set it too. Of like whether they decide to make it before, or it's definitely not going to be after 8, like 8's final conclusion there, because 8 fast forwarded at the end to like where Rose was.
Well, they've said the Rose thing is not like because the Rose DLC is also like really far in the future. They're counting that stuff as we're not locking that in stone. That's not set in stone. So future Resident Evil games will take place after the Ethan Winters story, but won't necessarily have to take place when Rose is a teenager, and we don't have to skip all those years.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at. Where I'm like, I don't think they're gonna slingshot themselves forward in time that much.
No, probably not. Because they said Rose's story also wraps up in the DLC. So
yeah.
You assume that all of that's good to go. Who knows? But it's also Resident Evil. Characters come back all the fucking time. So it's like... we could get to a point where that is now modern... Like, Resident Evil in, like, 15 years will be like, oh, yeah, that... Maybe we're back in that time frame now, so, hey, maybe she is alive, you know? Like, you never know. You'll never know.
It'd be funny.
You know, it's just... We'll see. We'll see. It's like one of those days where we're all counting down the days where we're like, God damn it, when that Uncharted game comes out, you know it's going to be Cassie Drake, and you're just going to be sitting there going, oh God, when do they pull that trigger? It's going to happen eventually.
Yeah.
It's just like, has it been long enough yet? Has it been long enough yet? Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? But hey.
I do also want to throw this out here real quick, because I was looking up stuff about Code Veronica. There is a fan-made remake in the works.
Oh, nice.
Done in the Unity engine. Totally free and instead split into 3 chapters. Each chapter about 4 hours.
How much of it's done?
I'm not sure.
I have to imagine that's closer to like the original survival horror, like PS1 era style.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Which, great, because I'm sure it's probably a solid little creation there. I'm sure it's probably pretty good.
Again,
but like specifically when people were talking about wanting Veronica remade, I'm sure that they meant like it would be funny to see them. It would be really hilarious if instead of backpedaling to Veronica, or even after they did that, instead of going to 5, still they decided to listen. We already remade remade the first game back in the GameCube, but now we want to remake it the way that you've come to expect. It'd be super goofy, but you'd get a chuckle out of me if they decided to do that.
Yeah, Hunter, you might know what these words mean more than I do. Survive. This is coming right from the Veronica remake website. Survive the powerful tyrant T078, who will chase you and attack you without mercy. Also face other enemies, Bandersnatch dogs, and more.
Yeah, there were dogs in that game. Man, Resident Evil dogs are like so agitating.
God, they really are.
Oh, here's one thing I hope that the Resident Evil 4 remake decides to leave behind. The QuickTime events that Resident Evil 4 popularized that. Like I think games that did that before Resi 4 probably amount to Shenmue and a couple of other
classics,
minor examples.
Really well-aged games, yeah.
Yeah, Resident Evil 4 even beat God of War to the punch as far as, QuickTime events and all that silliness goes. I think you can leave most of that behind. Like, I don't need goofy Indiana Jones running away from the boulder segments. If you want to have like a contextual push a button to avoid a boss's move, if you're in a situation where you're about to be screwed, then sure. But also maybe think about maybe not making it a thing that you have to do. Like if I'm behind the guy, let me avoid it anyway. Because some of those are nonsense. The way that like I remembered them being much harsher on the timing than they really were, but still some of them are like, whole sequence of things, and then you screw up a button press or you're a little too short on some of this and you die.
Yep.
Or even just enemies will grab you and you gotta wiggle the stick and to break free, and that's something I could do without. I'd rather just like the remake of 2 and 3. They just kind of grab you and you take the L unless you have a knife. But like you'll take some damage. You don't necessarily die automatically. I guess I should clarify, but you take the L on losing some damage there, and I'd rather just deal with that, if I'm being honest. Like, I could do the contextualize, like shoot him in the leg to be able to kick him or whatever. That's fine. I think that's acceptable, because that's not something that your survival is dependent on. So yeah,
we'll have to see. To see. It's not too long. It's the end of March, so it's not too far away. Crazy. It really is crazy that it's mid-October. It's like, oh god, we really do not have much of this year left.
Nope.
Oh god. Holding out for that God of War, and then we're screwed for the rest of the year. I know, Callisto Protocol. We're good. We're fine.
You're screwed. I still got another. I still got another game that I'm going to enjoy.
Dude, if you think that I'll be done with that Persona 5 playthrough by the time that God of War comes around, you'll be fucking mistaken. I have like 3 hours of free time, like a day. So it's like, that ain't happening.
I'll be on like the last legs of the Crisis Core thing, and you'll still be playing Persona 5.
Probably, especially because I said to myself, I remember, and I feel like I am still going to do it. Like, it feels like, Kyle will get this reference. I feel like doing, like, this is like a Tim Rogers kind of playthrough where it's like, I'm not using fast travel. It's like, I'm going to live Persona 5. I'm going to, like, no fast travel. I'm going to walk. If I need to go to Shibuya, I'm walking out the school and going to Shibuya on the trains. It's like, that's what I'm going to do on that playthrough. I feel like I'm just going to live it.
Nice.
So we'll see how far we go. Maybe the only exception I'll probably give is Mementos, because Jesus Christ, if I have to walk all the way fucking back up, I'm gonna cry.
Oh my god, yeah.
That'd be really bad.
For the sake of your own sanity.
Yeah. Or we will be there for hundreds of hours. Like, jeez. It'll be interesting. At least there's the extra songs. At least there's that. But no, I guess we'll wrap it up here. Yeah, nothing else to say. Next week, Persona 5 Royal is out and available everywhere. We'll talk about all those ports and all that jazz. We'll talk about the 25th anniversary. Was it a huge L? Was it a W? Who knows? We'll talk about it next week. There'll be some other stuff. We won't just talk about it.
It's a real mystery.
Make some educated guesses on what we will see. We've had a couple of things trickle in this week, so it's like, I feel like we're done now. Famitsu article's out. Atlas made a very vague statement. I feel like we're at the point where it's like, okay, we're good.
Yeah.
We'll see. I know that we won't have. It's going to be an interesting day that Friday, because I won't have time to play much of each version, but I will have to do a fucking whistle stop tour, because I know we're recording on the Friday because Hunter's got somewhere to be at the weekend. So it's going to very much be like a run. I can't even pre-order it on PlayStation 5 at the moment, so I can't pre-download it because it's not available. What the fuck is that? Anyway, it's fine. We'll make it work. We'll be fine. Right, anyway, links are on screen right now. You can go and follow us on Twitter if you want to go and keep up to date with everything that we are doing outside of the podcast. Who knows? Twitter's a wild ride at the moment. It's the Wild West of video game news over there. Like, everything's happening. It's funny. It's like all this stuff that happens. It's like, I could tweet about it. I just don't tweet. I tweet like once a week. I only ever tweet when it's the podcast. I'm like, hey. But so if you want to keep up to date on the podcast, you can do that.
I never really do. Otherwise, it's just reposting things that I either find funny or interesting.
Almost the time, like.
One of my tweets this week was saying I was excited for Bayonetta 3.
Oh.
And here we are.
I want to go and check that. That's funny.
Basically, it was basically just like finished Bayo 1 and 2.
And I'm looking forward to Bayo 3 at the end of the month.
Looking forward to Bayo 3.
Yes, sir.
That was on like Tuesday or whenever the 12th was. Wednesday.
I didn't check it. I didn't see that tweet. That tweet did not come on my timeline at all.
Damn, bro.
I know,
you have me muted?
Yeah, I have you muted.
Understandable.
Yeah. Absolutely tragic. Anyway, If you have Kyle on mute too, that's cool. Why don't you go follow us on Twitter at HotGamersOnly, or subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/HotGamersOnly. And hey, if you want to look at our stupid faces, well, don't. That's cool too. Head to the link tree in the description where you can follow us on your favourite podcast services like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or just search for HotGamersOnly. You know where we are. You can find us. You're probably listening to us on there. It's cool. You do you. Thank you for all the podcast support as of recent. You guys are showing up a lot more, which is weird, so thank you for that. It almost feels like there are audio listeners. That's scary. Don't like that. Creepy. People listen to us? That's cringe. Imagine.
I try not to think about it.
People listen to us every week.
Like, it's still the start of the podcast and we're still just talking into the void.
It's weird to me because it's like, I expect when people are doing this, like, when I used to listen to podcasts, it was always like, you know, when I was playing, like, I play it on this background noise at the side of this game, but it's like people literally, like, they listen to us in their car, they listen on the bus, they listen while they're at work and they've got nothing to do, and I'm like, that's weird. Like, that's weird. People do that. Strange, but thank you. We do appreciate it. Yeah. Gosh, weird world. Anyway, that's all for this week. Join us next week for more shitting on franchises that we like. It'll be good fun. It'll be great fun. And I promise you this time, though, it will be Persona next week. I'm sorry, Persona fans, that got excited and then went back into the void and the Xenoblade fans rose up once again. But it's fine. We'll get to it. But yeah, we'll be back same time, same place next week for that. But until then, have an awesome week. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.
Toodaloo.